What's going on, y'all? It's JD Pickell with On 3. Today on the Hard Count, we're going to take a pulse of the Clemson Tiger program. Welcome into the Hard Count, the people show for every single thing that you know and that you love about college football. It happens here on a nearly daily basis. Nick Brake does the heavy lifting. You can help drive the show by subscribing to the channel. The Pulse of the Program series continues on as we make our way to Clemson, South Carolina to take a pulse of the Tigers. I asked Nick Brake, I said, what do you say we take a pulse? He said, I feel it in my wrist already. So we take our fingers, put them on the wrist of the Tigers, and we just wait 1 second, 2 seconds, got it. We're going to give you the internal pulse within that program. We're going to give you the pulse of the fan base, and we'll give you our own diagnosis as well at the end of this video. So internally, they're doubling down. Like everything that Dabo Swinney has created in-house there as a culture, they are doubling down. Dabo Swinney said as much about their quarterback position because everybody and their mother is talking about, is Cade Klubnik going to end up being the guy? Is he going to push DJ out? Listen, Dabo Swinney came out at ACC Media Day and he just said point blank, people are kind of disrespecting DJ. People are talking about him like he's, I'm not going to use the verbiage he used, but he basically said people are not taking him seriously. This dude is a freak. And it's hard to argue with him because we saw what he did as a freshman. We saw what he did at the high school level. He was an extremely highly recruited kind of guy. And Dabo Swinney called everybody's attention back to that. He said, remember how you were talking about him before last season? Everybody was talking about wanting me to play him over Trevor. That's Trevor Lawrence, who was a #1 pick. So he's saying, let's all just calm down. DJ's our quarterback. I have confidence in him. He has confidence in himself. We're going to move forward. So that's the first piece, doubling down at the quarterback spot. And then in addition to that, he said, we're going to double down at the coordinator spots because he said, we want Wes Goodwin to be our DC. We want Brand Streeter to be our OC, both internal promotions. When Brent Venables left to Oklahoma, when Tony Elliott left to Virginia, he said, that's fine. We got all our pieces we need. And credit to him for saying it's a culture thing for us. And he put his money where his mouth is. Because Clemson is a brand where you could have probably gone and shopped around and probably got somebody that's a higher profile name. But he said it to the media. He's like, if those guys weren't getting those jobs, it would have been on me because they deserved it. They earned it with what they did at their previous positions at Clemson. They've earned where they are now. And truthfully, as a guy who's on the outside looking in, I'm saying I love that. I absolutely love that. If you're at a company and the job ahead of you becomes open and you've done a good job in your job that's a lesser position and that's the next step, a good boss will put you in that job. So credit to Dabo for being a good boss. And it's not just at a staff level are they doubling down. They're doubling down within this roster. Because in the day and age of the transfer portal, you could very easily, from a place like Clemson, make a move to another big-time program. There are a lot of people, I guarantee you, a lot of other programs out there that would quickly accept a lot of these other players on this team. And so Dabo also said this at ACC Media Day. He said, we had the same group of guys, pre-spring, during spring, and post-spring, nobody left. Not a soul left. So everybody in this program has now once again committed to Dabo Swinney because every single year you have an option as a player to go somewhere else. And they've all recommitted to Dabo and Clemson. And so, like I said, internally, they are hashtag all in. Like, true to the hashtag, they are in with what they're doing now at Clemson. And so that's a good sign. Anytime you have your locker room bought into the coaching staff, especially when there's a turnover in the coaching staff, that's a great sign and ultimately a phenomenal jumping off point to get to where you want to be. I think that's a really large percentage of the battle. Now, as a fan base, they feel like they're just one piece away. It's a big piece. Don't get it twisted. It's a big piece. They feel like they're just one piece away from playing for, in their minds, a college football playoff. Because last year, at quarterback, which is the one piece, DJ Uiagaleilei had more interceptions than touchdowns. Not a great stat. Your defense only allowed 15 points a game. You won 10 games. Imagine if your quarterback throws 20 touchdowns, 10 picks. How much better is Clemson? How differently are we talking about Clemson at the end of last year? What bowl game is Clemson playing in? Do they end up winning the ACC? If you get this much more production from your quarterback, you have a different season last year. Now, I think we need to talk about where DJ is as a whole. lost a lot of weight. That's been made known. It's been made a headline. I don't think we're looking closely enough at the emotional state of a guy like DJ Uiagaleilei, because think about how much pressure he had on him coming into last year. Spotlight was super bright on this kid, and everybody was expecting him to step in, be the Trevor Lawrence 2.0, be better than Trevor, and take this team to the national championship, myself included. Think about how much pressure that puts on your shoulders. And oh, by the way, it's the first year of NIL. You flip on the TV and you're on a Dr. Pepper commercial. Your first year in the saddle. Those expectations are sky high. And so I think it's really positive for him to step into this year with another year of experience behind him. And I think expectations on him personally are a little bit more realistic. I think with this program and with this coaching staff behind him, that's going to be all the confidence he needs. So I'm excited for Clemson. But internally, they feel like if we just get quarterback right, internally in terms of internally within this fan base, they feel like they get the quarterback spot right, they got a real good chance. And it's hard to argue against that. Now, our diagnosis here at the Hard Count, to me, Clemson is like the Chick-fil-A of college football. Like if college football is the fast food industry, Clemson is Chick-fil-A. Now, what do I mean by that? Chick-fil-A does things differently than any other establishment. Super hard to franchise one. I think it takes like somewhere around 2 years to even get a store. Closed on Sundays. They go next level with the hospitality service they hire. It's a different kind of culture, a different way of doing things at Chick-fil-A. Similar to Clemson. They promote internally for their coordinators. They don't use the transfer portal. They don't really have guys transfer out. They do their visit schedule a little bit differently historically. And the reason why you're okay with Chick-fil-A being closed on Sundays is because they give you one of the best products out there. Like you're okay. You don't love it that they're closed on Sunday, but you're okay with it because of how phenomenal that product is. Same thing with Clemson. Nobody is scoffing at the way they use the portal or the way they've used their coordinators or the way that they've gone about hiring or the way they recruit. Nobody scoffed at that because it's been working, because that product at Clemson has been so next level. Now, whenever there's a drop-off in that product, if Chick-fil-A started serving you subpar chicken, you'd say, what the heck? And they're not open on Sundays? What is the deal with this place? Same thing with Clemson. If there is a continual drop-off with what they're doing, with the wins and losses, with the product they're putting on the field, then you're going to have some people start to grow steadily unhappy. Hear me loud and clear. Dabo is not on the hot seat. Dabo Swinney is not getting fired. There is no unrest in terms of people being unhappy with Dabo at Clemson. But you see where I'm coming at with this. If the product declines, people will slowly but surely get more and more unhappy, and that's just the fact of the matter. That's it for us here at the Hard Count. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. We are surging towards 10,000. We want you a part of this party. We want you a part of this community. Comment below. Let me know what you think Clemson will finish at in 2022 in terms of wins and losses. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of the Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.